Okay, welcome back to some obscure gaming concepts. I'm Kager Hager, and a few months ago I posted a video on how to install packages and install RetroArch, specifically the 1989 TMNT game, so it can run right off your XMB dashboard on a jailbroken PlayStation 3. And I had a few people who were interested in learning how to create their own. I've done a lot of looking, and it took me a while to figure it out, but there just really wasn't a whole lot of good tutorials out there, so I'm going to go ahead and give that one a go today. So before we start up, there's a few things that we're going to need. One, you need a jailbroken PlayStation 3. This is just pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have a jailbroken PS3, this won't work for you. The second thing, you're going to need a program called RetroArch. RetroArch is basically an emulator for a bunch of classic gaming systems that you can install right onto your PlayStation 3. And this RetroXMB, what we're going to be creating today, it actually utilizes the RetroArch program to run these games. Third thing, though, is, at least this is more optional, but it will make your life a lot easier, is a way to FTP into your PS3. I use FileZilla, and we'll get into that here in a bit. So if you don't have these things, I suggest pausing it and come back to this a little later. Actually, for RetroArch, go ahead and take a look at my old video on the 89 Ninja Turtles game. It has a link with the RetroArch program and shows you how to install that. Alright, so I'm going to assume that you have those things ready to go, and we'll go ahead and start making these RetroXMB packages. Now, just to let you know real quick, a RetroXMB package is basically running old school games like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, PlayStation 1, arcade cabinet games directly from your XMB dashboard, so it was like you just downloaded it from the PSN network, or or installed a game right to your hard drive. So we're going to be doing a few things today in order to create that, and you can put your own custom background, custom icons, and everything on it. So first off, we'll need this program called RetroXMB Creator version 177. So I put this link in the description. It'll come up with this website. Just go ahead and go to download now via your external site, and it will come up with the zip file. What we need to do is go ahead and just extract here. I'm putting it on the desktop for ease of access. You can put it anywhere you want, but I'm just going to put it here. Now, first thing, let's go ahead and try to open up the program. It'll open with all these files and programs here, but RetroXMB Creator is what we want. So, trying to open this up, it'll come up right away with the RetroXMB system error. It says that we need a DLL file. Don't worry about it. Easy to find. I put a link in the description for it, and I've already downloaded it and put it on my hard drive. It's a zip file. What you do is go to this website, and just scroll down, and as you can see, the 528244, just click on download, and it'll give you a zip file with this file, the DLL file. Now we need to put this actually in the folder for RetroXMB. Just put it right in. As you can see, it was added, and let's go ahead and try to open it up again. And there we are, it opens up. Alright, so a few things that we need to take care of. First off, if this is the first time you're using this program, it will come up with this RetroXMB setup. Alright, so there's quite a few things that are important on this first section. First off here, it comes up with RetroArch title ID. Now, as I mentioned before, we're going to be utilizing that program to run the ROMs. Basically what we're doing is we're creating our own little file source, and we need to have the paths correct, so RetroArch will know, or the RetroXMB will know where to find the cores, RetroArch cores, in your system in order to run the ROM that you want. Alright, so I'm going to kind of run through this here real quick. As you can see, RetroArch title ID SSNU 10,000. That means when we install RetroArch, this is the file that it will save into your PlayStation 3 hard drive. Now this is where the FTP is going to come in really handy. We need to make sure that we have the correct path to the cores in our PlayStation 3 in this core path. Now, cores in RetroArch are essentially just the ROM emulator within RetroArch, so we need to direct this path to where the cores are. So I'm going to go ahead and FTP in through FileZilla. If you don't know how to do this, just take a few minutes. There's plenty of tutorials online. You just need to get your IP address and you should be good to go. Alright, so dev HDD0 is the hard drive for your PlayStation 3 where everything is installed. So I'm going to open that up. Now we need to find where RetroArch is saved. The game folder here, what I just opened, is where everything that is on your XMB dashboard is saved to. All your DLC, your game files, everything is in here. So do not go deleting anything in here if you don't know what you're doing, because you can ruin your games, your DLC, everything. So if you don't know what you're doing, just scroll through and don't open or delete. But I'm going to go back to RetroXMB, and as I said, the title ID is SSNE 10,000, so we need to find that folder. So in the game folder, we're going to scroll all the way down to where it says SSNE 10,000, and if you followed my tutorial on the past video, you're going to find this no problem. It's going to come right to this folder. What we need to do is find where these cores are though. So let's go ahead and open up the SSNE and the user directory, and there's a folder called core. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. Now it's going to come up with a few other things in here, but there we go. These are the RetroArch cores that basically will run the ROM. As you can see, we got FB Alpha, which is your arcade cabinet. FCE UMM is your original Nintendo. We got Genesis. We got MAME, which is also another form of arcades. And we got NES Topia, which is another form of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and so forth. So this is exactly where the cores are. We found them. Now we need to get this path. Now this is where it comes in really slick. Go to remote site, and as you can see, here's a path. Dev HDD0 game SSNE user directory cores. Just highlight that, Control C for copy, and RetroArch core paths. Just go ahead and highlight that and paste it. Okay, boom, there it is. So we have the exact path that we need. Alright, so now there's a few things that we can change here. You can disable the XMB, so when you hit the guide button on your PlayStation control, it'll just come up with turn off controller or quit game, or you can access everything. I like to access everything in mine as an option, so I'm just going to check rename package for when I have that option. I'm going to go to save. Alright, now let's go ahead and we'll start making up the games here. First thing though, we need to make sure that the paths are correct for our config file. So as you can see, we have a lot of different options: Sega CD, NES, Quake, PlayStation 1, PS3, a lot of different options here. So this tutorial will show you how to create all of these. You just need to follow the tutorial, but only use different options here to create like a Genesis ROM or a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. Alright? Self-explanatory. And down here it'll show you the supported extensions, GBA. So that states that if I want to create a Game Boy Advance game, I need to have .gba extension on my ROM file. So let's take a look at Super Nintendo. SNES, it comes up with SMC, SFC, and a few others. So we got to make sure that the game that we have is that extension. Now first off here, I'm going to double click on SNES, and it'll come up with a config file in a notepad program. Alright, this is very important as well, because again, these are all paths for the save state directory, for our menu texture, for a lot of different things, and it also sets up your entire controller system and everything. Don't go changing a lot of things if you don't know what you're changing. Just stick to what I'm showing you right now. So as you saw before, I went in and I got a path for the LIB retro path. Here's the exact path that we just put in, and it shows the core at the end of it. So this directs it exactly to the core that will run the game. Now as you can see, there's a little bit of difference here. We have the SSNE 10,000 on a few of these, but we don't have it on all of them. We have some on Irisman. Now you're thinking, what the hell, what's Irisman? Well, we're not using that program. So what we need to do is change where it says Irisman to SSNE. So I'm going to highlight the SSNE 10,000, copy it, and wherever it says Irishman 00, I'm going to put paste. I'm just going to paste over that, because it's creating a folder to the config file into the core, so we're able to access everything that we need to access. It puts it all in one spot through RetroArch. Alright, so I went all the way to the bottom. Our info path, same thing. If it anywhere where it says Irishman, replace it with the SSNE 10,000. Now this will be straight across the board for every single core that we do, or every other game system. So I'm going to X out, I'm going to go to save. It says yes. I'm just going to show you this real quick. I'm going to go up to NES, and as you can see, .nes.unf, but I'm going to double click on this and it'll bring up another one. As you can see, there's some that have SSNE initially in it, but others that don't. So just the exact same, copy SSNE, replace the Irishman with it. Okay, so you can do that on your own time, but let's go ahead and make a game. So we have SSNE or SNES games, and I've already gone ahead and I downloaded Earthbound. You can find ROMs everywhere online. Don't ask me, just do a search. We can either click and drag, or we can actually click on this box down here and search for it, but I'm just going to click and drag it. Now I'm going to also take a look here, and it says title ID. Now if you remember when I said title ID, this was important because title ID is where you're going to be saving the packages to your hard drive. They need to be unique. They cannot be duplicates. So anytime that you see RX, that means RetroXMB, and then the following SNE will be the actual program. So I'm going to go back to my FileZilla and show you real quick. I'm going to go back into my HDD0, and I'm going to go into game, and again this is where everything is installed, and I'm going to look for RxNE. As you can see, I have a lot of them. So RxGen is Genesis games, RxMain is arcade games, we got NES, we got PSX, and then we got SNE. So as you can see, I got quite a few in here that are already installed, and these are games that are already put on my PlayStation 3, so they need to be unique. I'm going to make sure that this title ID up here is not the same as anything else that I have, and you can change this. You can put whatever you want into it, but just make sure it's unique for each game. I suggest starting at 0000, 4 zeros, and work your way up. And also watch what happens when I hit title ID. This is something that can also screw you up. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop, and as you can see, it changed to 0001, and it went on to the next section. Now from here we can go ahead and click make package, and you'd be fine. It'll come up with the icon, and then this black is your background, but I'm not keen on that, and plus I want to make sure that I have my title ID at what I want it to be at. So I'm going to go to back, and as you can see, it did change. So I'm going to change this back to 1000. Everything else looks good. I am going to make a change here. I'm going to get rid of this U, because whatever you put in the title, it will show up on your PS3. So you could put Earthbound SNES, you put whatever you want. And then when you're done with that, and as you see, it has the ROM right there that it will be including into the package, you go to preview. Takes us back to here. Now right clicking, you can clear all this, and it'll clear any custom things that you've done in there. You can reset it all. You can change a lot of different things here. Set pick 1, dot ping, set icon picks. We're going to change all that today, so I'll show you how to do that. Now this one right here, I'll show you a little bit later on what to do. That's actually the audio. You can actually put your own audio in there, so when you select over a game, it will play music in the background. But for this purpose right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change some things. I'm going to put the actual game box in here. Now if you don't want to do all the changes, you can go ahead and make package and skip forward in the video. Otherwise, I'm going to show you how to make these changes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to look for Earthbound SNES box, the cover. Alright, I'm going to go to images and find one that looks good for me, and let's go ahead with this one. Yeah, let's go with this one. You know what, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to go with this one just for purposes today. I'm going to right click, I'm going to save images as, and as you can see it's in JPEG format. That's okay, we're going to save. Anytime that you add anything custom on here, it needs to be in PNG format, PNG. So I need to change that. I'm going to right click, I'm going to edit, and I'm going to go to File, Save As, PNG. This is just in Microsoft Paint, and I want to have it as a PNG picture. Now here's where you really have to pay attention, because if it's not in all caps, even the extension, it will not work. So I'm going to put icon 0.png so it knows exactly where to put it at, and again this is all in caps. I'm going to go to save, exit this out, and I'm going to click and drag this over, and boom, there we have it. Icon 0 ping is the basically the path for it, and you can change it to whatever you want if you want. You can keep it as Super Nintendo. I'm going to show you how to put background on it. So let's go back to this. I'm going to go to Earthbound Wallpaper. You know what? This looks like a good one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, right click, save image as, go to save, and again this is in, deleting that JPEG one. This is in JPEG format again, so I'm going to minimize this, right click, edit, and again it needs to be in PNG format, so file, save as in a ping picture, and I'm going to put it as pic1.png. Close out. Here's our pic, and there we go. Now we have a new background. Alright, so if you're satisfied with the box, with the background, and again this is where you'd be able to put some audio, and I'm going to go into that a little bit. I'm going to go to make package. It's going to create this. Done. Do I want to view it? Yep, I do. And as you can see, it shows what the title ID RetroXMB 1000 Earthbound. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on the desktop for ease of access, but as you can see it is under my RetroXMB and packages. That's where this was. So wherever you create it, that's where it's going to go to. Alright, so we're essentially done with that. We can go ahead and close out. Now I'm going to go back into my FTP. I'm already connected up. Now I'm going to transfer this over to my PlayStation 3. So I need to find out where my PlayStation will find the packages so I can install them. I'm going to go to my HDD0 and packages. There's one that's already been in there, and I'm going to just click and drag the package that I just created over, and it transferred. All transfers are finished. Alright, great. So let's go ahead. I'll meet you over at the PS3, and I will show you how to get it going from there. Alright, so here we are back at the PlayStation. Go ahead and head over to the Game tab, and if you have installed, like any other jailbreak, you're going to see a program called Package Manager. Go ahead and open that up. Sorry, my phone's having a little bit of difficulty focusing up here on this one. And the top one, it says Install Package Files. And then mine's on the PS3 system storage. That's exactly where I just transferred it to. We're going to open that up, and boom, there is our RetroArch package that we just created, our RetroXMB. So let's go ahead and open that up and install it. Install it complete. Let's go ahead and see what we got. It's going to bring us back all the way to the front, all the way to the bottom, unknown. Let's go ahead and open it. Bang, there we have it. Alright, let's see how this bad boy works. And there we have it. Okay. There you go. You can do it with a lot of things. I'm going to show you something real quick here. I'm going to go ahead and quit back to my main XMB dash. I've made quite a few from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Arcade. You know, you can do a lot of them. It just takes a little time to get to know what you're doing and what you want. But let's go to the Super Nintendo here. Alright, so as you can see, there's quite a few that I've made. And some of these have music, some of these don't. Some I did find online or whatever, but you know, you can create your own music on this, so I'm going to show you where to add that when you do have music. Alright, I'm going to take you back to the computer real quick. Alright, so we're going to open back up RetroXMB. And here is our Earthbound that we just created. Now if you right click, it'll say set SND 0.at3. That is actually what the audio needs to be. You can put this in here. So if you find a song or a theme song that you want to put on there, you're actually going to have to convert it to an AT3 file. Just look up online how to do that. And once you have it, you can actually go ahead and add it in there and it will play. So yeah, it'd just be like you downloaded it from the PSN network or whatever, but you just created your own. So that's all you'd have to do is put it in there. It takes a little bit of time, kind of a pain in the butt. You can find some people that have made some great packages that have some already, or just look for a converter tool online. Alright, so there you go. That's how you do it. Hopefully this helps, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and throw a message in the comments and give a like if this helped you out. I'll talk to you soon.